Today we're talking about a living legend in the comic field, and there are a few of those. Today's top 13 is going to be all about one of them.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big Chunky. Today is Top 13 Thursday. You're taking the reins this time.
Yep.
With another comic creator.
Yes, we're going creator specific today.
Not cover specific.
Nope, not looking at covers, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be looking at the top 13.
We will be looking at the covers.
Yes, we will. Frank Miller comics to invest in?
Yes. So, Frank Miller, living legend. I said there's about a handful of living legends that still create in comic books. So, I've always liked to collect creators, as a lot of collectors do.
Sure.
So I'm saying today we're going to talk about the 13 Frank Miller books that I think are prime for investment.
Cool. All right. Let's start with number 13 on the list here. Ooh.
Number 13 on the list is Marvel Team Up. Number 100. And for a couple different reasons. This list has been something I've worked on for a couple weeks now, and the world has changed in those couple weeks, but I kept this on there nonetheless. Initially, before the unfortunate, tragic death of Chadwick Boseman, I had this on here because it was the first time that Storm, it was like the origin story of how Storm and Black Panther met.
Gotcha.
Which I believe was going to be depicted, might still be depicted somehow on screen in the MCU. Somehow.
I don't know about that.
I'm keeping it on a list because it's a very important part of Marvel comic book history. I really still believe in a flashback they might do the story. The second part, this is the first appearance of Karma. Have no rumors, anything about it, but Karma was Marvel's first ever female gay character.
Oh.
And this is her first appearance. So again, no rumors, no speculation, but I wouldn't be surprised if they threw this on there, given the diversity direction they're going in.
Sure. Cool.
So kind of look at a double key and just wanted to keep it on there.
That's cool.
Rest in power.
Yeah, that's a good number 13. Number 12.
Number 12, we are going with Daredevil, number 176. That is the first appearance of
Stick.
Daredevil's sensei, his mentor. Kind of taught him the way. This is one of Frank Miller's creations during the transformation of Daredevil, where he added layers of lore with Stick in the hand and everything that came with it. Introduced obviously Elektra, and I think Stick, he appeared in the Netflix show. I think he very well could another version of him appear if they're going to start doing Daredevil stuff in the MCU, which it looks like they're going to. I hope they do expand upon it. Hopefully he's not just a sideshow piece.
I can't imagine that he would
there
be.
are so many good Daredevil stories.
Yeah.
And if they're going to tell it, Stick's probably going to have to show up, and this is his very, very first appearance.
Cool. All right. That's good. Number 12. Number 11.
Number 11.
Oh, my goodness.
There's going to be a lot of Daredevil on this list, by the way, as well there should be.
Yeah, I mean, there kind of has to be.
This is Daredevil number 174.
I guess so.
And this is the first appearance of the Hand. I just mentioned them.
Mm-hmm.
That secret ninja organization that plagues Daredevil and other characters in New York City and the rest of the world, and maybe one day the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
On the way to the comic shop.
Yeah, it's one of those things I think they could tie in with some of the Shang-Chi stuff. I don't know if it's connected in the comic books. I don't know that.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about a bunch of secret organizations, this would be a perfect to Shang-Chi. Maybe an arm of it could be what is the Hand.
Yeah.
That'd be a perfect way to kind of ease Daredevil and that lore into the MCU.
Cool.
So I could see it happening. If it doesn't happen on screen, it's still an extremely important part to the mythos that is Daredevil. And this is the Hand's first appearance.
All right. Super important. Number 10.
Top 10.
Cracking the top 10.
Top 10.
I recognize this cover.
This is one of those. It's one of those classic covers. It's getting more and more classic as the years go by. This is Captain America number 241.
Yep.
This is the first meeting between Captain America and the Punisher.
Oh, okay.
So,
What's it with Captain America and the white backgrounds on a lot of his famous covers?
I think it probably has a lot to do with the red, white, and blue.
I guess.
There's a lot of them.
It seems like it's hard to get in good condition.
Yeah, I mean the older ones they tend to tan out or yellow out, but
Yeah. I see you got the UK version.
yes, I like to do that every once in a while. This is the 12 pence version.
Yeah.
But no, this again, it's one of those things when the Punisher is introduced into the MCU, his meeting with Captain America, whatever version of Captain America we have at that moment in time, because make no mistake, there's always going to be a Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
Some version of it. And who knows how it's going to be. Listen, we're going to be dealing with the MCU until we are both dead and gone.
Probably.
It's here to stay. So anyway, this is the first time they ever meet. Classic cover for all those reasons. It's number 10 on the list. There's nothing more I can say about it.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Number 9.
Get the United States version.
Yeah. Always.
Number 9 on the list.
Oh my god, I couldn't. Oh,
Is.
there we go. All right.
Yet another
Number 9.
Marvel team-up book.
Marvel Team Up.
Marvel
dude.
Team Up 95, the first
That
appearance.
has been on the list too many times.
No, listen, Marvel Team Up is
Team Up
an
dude?
underrated. You know what? I'm going to do a top 13 series on the most underrated series.
You should do a top
Marvel
13
Team Up
Marvel
is
Team
there.
Ups.
I don't know that there's 13 of them, but there are a few, and this is one of them. Marvel Team Up number 95, the first appearance of Bobby Morse as Mockingbird. So as the Sony Venomverse / Spider-Verse / they're going to marry with the MCU and Tom Holland and all that. As that universe expands, it has been rumored, speculated, that Mockingbird, Bobby Morse, is probably going to be one of the female characters that it gets thrown in there somehow. So
Is Mockingbird a Spider-Man villain?
it's a Spider-Man character. Yes.
Not villain?
And they're teaming up right here. They're buddies. They're
Well, I
pals.
guess that's true.
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
just
Venom started out as a villain.
So this was, yes, as so many did. You don't see it happen the other way. However, you don't see a lot of heroes turn into villains, but they do.
Yeah.
They do the babyface turn. Not so many heel turns
No.
in comics, except for like maybe Thunderbolts, but that was just a trick.
Dark Phoenix.
You could. That's a good argument. Not the same character, so to speak, but
No, what?
the same character.
No, please.
I like it. I like your thinking. You're learning. So anyway, again, first appearance, still a very affordable book. You can get it in decent shape, high grade.
Yeah, is that cheap?
$15-$20 or whatever. And again, wasn't a whole lot of those Marvel team up books printed, so there's not like a crap ton of these laying out there.
I think in April. I think for April Fools, we need to do a top 13 Marvel team ups.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
We'll think about it.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's not the most ridiculous series out there, so we might want to do something a little.
We'll figure.
There's some legit stuff, as you can tell by this list.
Yeah,
in Marvel
sure.
Team Up.
Yeah.
There are some other series. I don't know about that.
Either way. Number.
What If would be a good one.
What is this? 9. This is 9. Number 8.
Number 8 on the list. Dark Horse presents 5th anniversary special. The
That
very
was
first
on-
appearance of
Sin City.
Sin City.
That was on the list.
So,
What list was that on?
This
Black
list.
characters. Black characters.
No, this was on this list,
Oh,
and only this list.
I thought I remember seeing that at some point.
No, this is the first appearance of Sin City.
Yeah.
One of Frank Miller's
Big deal.
most popular properties, and one that I believe has been dormant for a while, on screen and in the comics, but has a lot of legs. It was such a well done series. The first movie was fantastic, really fun movie, really good movie actually.
Fantastic.
A fantastic flick. I mean, if you like crime noir and drama and murder and that kind of stuff,
I'm all about it.
you'd love it.
Yeah, probably.
Absolutely love it. Listen, it's Sin City. It's an undervalued book. Again, this is a very
it's
popular
odd how-
property,
Yeah.
and has had a lot of great stories out there. Frank Miller at his best, as far as I'm concerned, with his artwork. This is classic. Well, Sin City, classic Frank Miller artwork. That negative
Yeah.
space, This is where, like, it just spells Frank Miller. So this is where it all began. Again, you can get this for $15.
Shoot.
Pretty cheap.
Nice.
Undervalued.
Good. Number 8. Number 7.
Number 7. We're going right back to Daredevil.
I've seen this one.
Daredevil number 181. This is the quote unquote death of Elektra.
That's right. That's
Again,
right.
if Daredevil pops up, Elektra's going to have to re-pop back up. I'd be remiss if they were going to do a Daredevil story and throw Elektra in there. You've got to do her death.
Yeah.
Like, you just almost have to do her death. Even though, listen, she gets resurrected, and then, like, I don't know, the retcon thing with the secret invasion, it was never her to begin. Whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're going to have to kill her at some point, and if and when they do, this is the issue to have. Tough to find a good grade because of the yellow background.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of these, luckily.
Is that not faded? Daredevil's very pink.
No, that's how it was. Yeah, it's like, it's in the background, so.
Interesting. Okay.
So there you go, Daredevil 181, the death of Elektra.
Always an important
Kind of a foreshadowing of what's to come on the list.
Number 7, perhaps. Number 7? Was this number 7?
I think that was number 7. So
number
6 on the list of Frank Miller books is Rom Space Knight.
Excuse me?
Number 1, the very first appearance of Rom Space Knight.
What?
Just listen, classic. Blue chip. I mean, if you can't get Hulk 181 or Giant Size X-Men, this is right there. I mean, it's below those two.
Is it?
On the list? I mean, right there. It's further down the list than right there.
Yeah.
No, this is
a fabulous first issue.
It is a fabulous first issue. It's Frank Miller cover. It's Rom the Space Knight. This is on the list because of all the talks about the Hasbro cinematic universe coming out. Transformers, G.I. Joe, several other Micronauts. Rom has been rumored to be included in there. So if they do that right, and it sounds like it's going to be pretty cool, we're going to see Rom Space Knight show up in the Hasbro universe, maybe mixing it up with the Optimus Prime or whatnot. And if that happens,
ridiculous.
Then this not rare, but this is again the same thing. Probably not a lot of Rom Space Knight copies out there.
Yeah.
Printed.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Back in the 80s. And this is it. I mean, it seems kind of ridiculous when you talk about Frank Miller, but
kind of ridiculous.
This is. I really am looking forward to what they do with the Hasbro cinematic universe. It's a very unique concept.
Yeah, I'm interested.
We're talking about
to see what goes on.
A movie franchise based on toys.
Yeah.
With comic books in between.
Yeah.
So very, very interested to see. But listen, hey, this is there. I mean, you can get Transformers number 1 is a little higher. And you can get G.I. Joe, they're a little higher. This is one of those kind of sneaking in, and it's Frank Miller. So
how much is this? Give or take?
Said very fine copies you can get for $15, $20, $25 or whatever.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be a bad purchase.
Nope.
It'd be interesting.
I'm going to get it.
Interesting. Number.
Are we cracking the top 5?
5. Ooh.
Okay. This is
classic.
This needs no introduction. This is the very first ever Wolverine solo issue. This is number 1 from the 1982 miniseries written by Chris Claremont, I believe, and drawn by Frank Miller. This is about as iconic a Wolverine cover as it gets. It's right there with a few others.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the other ones, but there's the other number 1 issue from the regular series would be one. There's a couple other issues from this miniseries that are also iconic, but this is, I mean, the Hulk 340 with Wolverine's claws and Hulk.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. I think that one might be a little bit more iconic.
That's a good one, but this is it. 1982.
Yeah.
First time Wolverine's ever in his own series, and it just, I don't know. It's iconic all the way. This is one of those modern blue chip things that's just like, this is never going to retreat in value. It's just going to keep on creeping and creeping and creeping and creeping. And
especially
it's one of those,
as Wolverine comes into the.
And that's what I was about to go into it. Yeah. As Wolverine pops up, Hulk 181 is out of so many people's price range.
Yeah, and
the next best issue is Giant Size X-Men. That's out of so many people's price range. So they're going to fall to these other issues the Wolverine miniseries, the Wolverine regular series, a couple other appearances. And this might be like the third or fourth most desirable Wolverine book whenever he starts hitting the screen. So grab it now. It's going to cost you if you get it in high grade. It's still pretty expensive books.
Yeah,
$75, $100.
Sure.
But I could easily see this one being a $300 comic book in a handful of years.
Definitely.
And it's pretty to look at.
It sure is. That'd be nice to have slabbed on the wall. Number 4.
I've got it autographed by Frank Miller.
You should get slabbed. Number 4.
Numero 4.
What?
Twilight Zone.
The Twilight Zone.
Number
Alrighty.
84. So if we're talking about collecting Frank Miller, you have to collect his very, very, very first comic book work, don't you?
His very first.
And it wasn't Daredevil. It wasn't anything else superhero related. It is Twilight Zone number 84.
In
Gold Key Comics.
That's amazing. Wow.
There's nothing much more to say than it's his first work. So if you're going to collect it, collect it. I can't speak to this issue. Although the Twilight Zone is badass.
Sure.
I don't know about the comic, but it's cool.
I like the cover. It's
Yeah,
really nice.
it's a cool cover.
Yeah.
But yeah, go out and get his first ever work.
Cool.
Do it.
All right. What is this? Number 3?
I think it's number 3, but we might be off.
Number
It's all
3.
And Daredevil, we're back to it.
Of course.
Probably going to stick around.
Yeah.
Daredevil number 158. This is the first Frank Miller art on the title.
Oh, is that right?
This began the transformation of Daredevil. He didn't start writing it until several issues later, but this is where he crept in as an artist. He drew it for a while.
Who's that villain?
No idea. I don't even know that.
Looks
it's a
like
villain.
every Scooby-Doo villain.
right. So again, this is his first work in the Daredevil title. The Daredevil title that he reformed, reshaped, revamped, redid everything.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very important issue. Already goes for quite a bit of money.
Cool.
But again, it's going to be one of those little blue chip modern books that's going to keep on creeping up. It's going to keep on doing it.
And it was still only 35 cents because
Still.
back in the day, nobody wanted it.
Still only 35 cents. Everything else was 40 cents, but not
Not
that issue.
Save that nickel. Buy yourself a loaf of bread. When did this come out? The 1850s?
this.
For a nickel?
This might be like 79.
Really? Damn.
So there you go. That's it.
All right.
First Frank Miller.
Number
Daredevil.
2.
Work.
Oh, yes.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Okay, again, listen, this is the one of, if not the best, Batman stories of all time.
That's what they say.
Written and drawn by Frank Miller.
Yep.
This is Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, the first issue. Iconic cover. Iconic story.
It's probably... Is this
We
the
could-
most well-known Batman story? Is this the most popular Batman story?
It is. Here's what it is. No, I guess it depends on what generation you're asking. But this is the book. If it's not The Killing Joke, it's this series.
Yeah.
When us comic book dorks historically have reached out to non-comic book people, or non-comic book people have come to us and be like, what should we read? Like, this is one of the first things. Well, if you want to read a good story, here's Batman: The Dark Knight Returns.
That's what I was always told.
If you want to read a good Batman.
Yeah.
Back in the day. And there's plenty of good Batman out there.
Sure.
But that seems to be what we always throw out there as maybe the best Batman story of all time. And again, Killing Joke's right there with him. You know, we'd be like, read The Watchmen. Read Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. Read Sandman.
Yeah.
I would say read Preacher.
Absolutely read Preacher.
But yeah, this is it. So I mean, not a lot to say about this one. It's a gorgeous cover, fantastic story, timeless. It's one of those timeless stories. It's always going to be great.
Yeah.
It influenced so much of what was done in the films and whatever.
And the best film.
Yeah.
Probably.
So anyway,
All right.
Dark Knight Returns, number 1.
I must
Grab
read
it.
that. That was not number 1. That was number 2. Number 1.
I think this is number 1. Number 1. Yes.
This
yes,
is number
yes, yes. So obviously, the foreshadowing of
Should've.
aforementioned, yes.
Yeah.
He, the death of
All that
Elektra
stuff.
was number 7. The first appearance of Elektra is number 1.
Right.
Maybe the most important first appearance in all of the Daredevil run is Elektra.
I would say it probably is.
This is Frank Miller. I believe he began writing this issue. So this might be where he kind of took over. But listen, yeah, very few characters that are more important to Daredevil than Elektra.
Yeah.
Very few, if any.
Yeah, I mean,
Like you could argue some other ones.
you could argue like Kingpin.
You could argue Kingpin or some other folks or whatever, but Elektra did a lot for the Daredevil comics, and this is where it all started. Fantastic book, tough to get in high grade.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you some money, but as far as investment potential is concerned, this one has the highest ceiling. This is a first appearance. It is early 80s. It is Frank Miller goodness throughout, and I think one of the most undervalued comics going out right there.
It's gonna be
Of our time.
undervalued until Elektra shows up in the MCU.
Yeah, she showed up. She showed up in the Netflix show.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm still a little weary about them saying that they wanted to avoid certain villains that have already been in previous franchises with their characters. So I don't know if that also includes all the Netflix universe stuff, because
Yeah,
I don't know. Like how many realistically villains do you think that Daredevil really has to pull from to be in his own movie? Like it would be the only way to
Not a
introduce
lot.
Elektra and Kingpin probably
yeah, not
to
a,
the MCU.
Not a whole lot. Well, I mean, Kingpin was a Spider-Man villain.
Kingpin could show up in a Spider-Man, but I think Elektra has to be in a Daredevil.
If they make a connection between the Hand and Shang-Chi,
Mm-hmm.
she could pop up somewhere else, for sure. But no, I mean, but yes, it's a Daredevil. She's a Daredevil villain / lover.
What?
Oh yeah, you know nothing about this.
I don't know anything.
Yeah, like they are former lovers. They have a romantic past. So she's a quote unquote villain, at least in the beginning, but by no means a straight up super villain. They have a thing.
Interesting.
They have a thing together.
Either way, we can talk about
We can do that.
Elektra all the time.
Daredevil number 168. Get it now. Like if of all the comics on this list, it's number one for a reason.
Yeah.
I would say if you're trying to make a little cash, grow your investments, I'd grab it now. It is still very, very affordable and high grade.
And it's not going to get cheaper.
No, it is not. Very affordable.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
that's it.
let him know what you think about his list and call him a dumbass in the comments section down below. We always love that when it happens, except it doesn't happen. I would love it though. And leave the video a like if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, and subscribe for more content like this all the time. We'll see you on the next one.